Good morning, everyone. Merry Christmas. And if you weren't here just a few moments ago, I recorded a little special Christmas video, little Christmas morning sermon. Uh, and if you didn't see it, I'm sure it's posted right below this uh, on my Facebook page. But anyway, today we're going to read chapter 12 of the Book of Ordinary Oracles uh, about the pendulum. But before we do that, I'm going to give us our Christmas morning oracle from the thumbnail Magic 8 Ball of the Book of Ordinary Oracles. Oh, what is our Christmas message, oh great oracle? It says, give it a rest. Well, okay, I'll give it a rest. And you can take it any way you want. It's your oracle. The pendulum. The little epigram is from Greg Nielsen and Joseph Polanski. In the hand of a trained operator, the pendulum reads exact energy patterns, which in the final analysis is the only truth we know. The pendulum is perhaps the most powerful and mysterious divinatory tool in the fortune teller's arsenal. It is simple to use and can perform in almost infinite ways. It is different than other oracles because it makes you, your body, and your electrical and psychic energy fields the vehicles for the oracular intelligence. It is an aspect of the art and science of radiesthesia. I have no idea how to pronounce that, so I'm going to spell it for you. Radii, R-A-D-I-E, S-T-H-E-S-I-A. Radiesthesia. I doubt that's how it's pronounced. Okay. But it's based on that science anyway, and based upon the same principles as dowsing. Dowsing, not drowsing. Although great oracular truths come quite often while you're drowsing. By using a pendulum regularly, you become increasingly attuned to the subtle forces and more sensitive to the curious ways oracular intelligences communicate. You don't have a pendulum? Well, you can make one in about 2 minutes using stuff you have around the house. Most anything will do. A pendulum is just a weight at the end of a string. Tie a string or an earring to a thread or a thin chain about 8 inches long. You'll find something. If you discover you have a knack for pendulum work, you'll have no difficulty finding a wide assortment of professional quality pendulums for sale at New Age book and gift shops. I've even seen them for sale down at the local health food store. You need only spend a few moments with your pendulum to get a feel for it. Start by draping the end of the string over your index finger, pinching the end of the string down with your thumb, and letting the weights swing naturally. Then will it to swing in a clockwise circle. When it does, mentally inform it or the intelligence behind it that a clockwise swing means yes. Repeat this little exercise a few times so that the concept of the word yes is connected with seeing the pendulum swing in a clockwise direction. Then do the same thing with the word no, but linking it in your mind with a counterclockwise movement. No kidding. That's all you have to do to get started using a pendulum. Once you're attuned to your pendulum, the things it can do for you are almost mind-boggling. The pendulum's potential as an oracular device is limited only by your imagination. You can even use it in combination with other oracles, selecting tarot cards or numbers to create the I Ching hexagrams. Use it over maps or books or newspapers, or as I do in the example I'm about to give, Scrabble tiles. While preparing the material for this chapter, I thought it'd be nice to chronicle the events of a brief pendulum operation. So I got out my pendulum, a nice brass miniature surveyor's plum, settled into my comfy chair, and quietly chanted the name of Ganesha 108 times to the tune of Pop Goes the Weasel. The chanting seemed to put me in a creative state of mind because I suddenly got an exciting idea. It occurred to me that the power of the pendulum could be amplified if I tied its string to the end of my magic wand. An especially consecrated length of almond wood that I fashioned 30 years ago for use in my magical operations. I thought it would prove handy to be able to point the wand with the pendulum dangling from the tip in a certain direction and ask things like, "Did I leave my car keys in this direction?" So I ask, will tying the pendulum to the end of my magic wand make communication with you easier and stronger? The pendulum swung in a clockwise motion, indicating yes. So I got up and fetched my wand and removed it from its red satin bag. I tied the pendulum string to one end of my wand, which I had carved to represent its female or negatively charged end. Is this the end I should tie it to? The pendulum was motionless, a rare event. Then I tied the string to the male or positively charged end. Is this the end I should tie it to? The pendulum swung strongly in a clockwise direction. Yes. Okay, we're ready to start. But I still hadn't thought of a question to ask. Then the thought occurred to me that in all the years I had used the pendulum, I had never asked the spiritual intelligence working through the pendulum its name. So I asked the following question. Are you the intelligence I communicate with when I use the pendulum? The pendulum immediately swung strongly clockwise. Yes. Do you have a name? Clockwise again. Yes. Will you tell me your name? Again, yes. Is your name written in a book in this house? Again, clockwise. Yes. That was great news because, as I mentioned in chapter 4, an answer from a book is the most effective way an oracle can give a clear response. But to make sure there wasn't some kind of loophole in this answer, I continued cautiously. Would I be able to find your name in a book in this house? Clockwise, yes. Is it in a book downstairs? Counterclockwise, no. Oops. Is it in a book upstairs in the loft? Yes. That's better. If I go upstairs with the wand and pendulum, will you point out the book? No. Ouch. Now I was stuck. I thought for a moment, then asked, will you spell your name for me? Yes. Now we're getting somewhere. I got up to get a paper and a pencil to make an alphabet chart, but then it occurred to me that out in the garage was a game of Scrabble containing a whole bag of alphabet tiles. I went out to the bag, got the bag out to the garage, got the bag of tiles, and returned to my comfy chair. I picked out 26 tiles representing the entire alphabet. I didn't stop to consider the name could be spelled with one or more of the same letter. I just didn't. I laid the tiles face down on a little footstool Constance had made with her talented little hands and swirled them around. I held it over each tile and asked, is this a letter in your name? It must have been quite a sight of a big gray-haired man holding what looked like a tiny fishing pole over a bunch of Scrabble tiles. It took longer than I expected, but I finally wound up with 5 tiles that evoked an enthusiastic yes response. I turned them over in order, and in the order they were chosen. P-H-O-C-U. I sounded out the letters and was not happy with the message. I lifted my oracular fishing pole. Are you saying to me, fuck you? Yes. Is fuck you your name? No. I knew then that I was dealing with an intelligence with an impish sense of humor. Just to make sure, I asked, are you sure these letters spell your name? The pendulum confirmed it. I turned the 5 tiles face down and swirled them around to shuffle them. Then one by one, I held the pendulum over them and systematically asked, is this the first letter of your name? Is this the second letter of your name? For all 5 tiles. Before I turned them over, I asked one more time, is this your name? To which the pendulum replied, yes. I turned them over. P-O-C-U-H. I was pleased that the consonants didn't bunch up, but it sure was a strange-looking word. I held the pendulum up over the tiles while I sounded out different pronunciations. Pak-oo? No. Poke-ah? No. Puka? Yes. Finally. Really? Pronounced Puka like Harvey the invisible 6-foot rabbit in the movie? Yes. So there it was. The name of my oracular pendulum friend is spelled P-O-C-U-H and pronounced Puka. But why did it choose those particular letters, I had asked? Is your name more correctly spelled P-O-O-K-A clockwise? Yes. If there had been another O tile to choose from, would you have selected it also? No. So So much for that theory. Is that because you wanted to first say to me, fuck you? Yes. Bingo. I thank my puckish friend and put the pendulum and my wand away for the day. And of course, the word puka is in the book upstairs, that my giant dictionary of the English language. Puka is up there. But anyway, that's the end of my story today. If you didn't get a chance to watch my little Christmas message about my morality, my Christmas morality, please give it a look when you get a chance today. Anyway, continue to have a wonderful Christmas day, everyone. Stay safe. Stay safe. Call relatives and friends and say hello, even ones you haven't seen in a long time. If you got their phone number, give them a call. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow on Boxing Day, and I believe we'll be starting the chapter on the I Ching, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, tomorrow is the I Ching. And be watching for my postings tomorrow, because I'll have an errata sheet for the I Ching trigrams that in the first edition of the Book of Ordinary Oracles were sort of placed out of whack. There were typos, in other words, so we'll fix that tomorrow. In other words, continue to be good to yourself. Be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Love under will. Merry Christmas.